error or something this week, the boys will come in and every day after recess I've had at least 2 boys at the peace table because there's something going on out there, but they know that that's where they can go. And so they're heated at recess, and they'll say, meet you at the peace table when we get inside. And I had 7, I mean, you'll see the table with the green on it, and it's tucked between a shelf and the wall, because it's so,
that little low one
it's so
there.
tiny back there that it's not a public thing if you go to the peace table. It's this little, 7 boys around the peace table. You know, the personal space thing, they're just like on top of each other. And and the thing they wrote was so interesting. I was listening, and they haven't resolved it yet, but they wrote, we are trying to say sorry to a friend, but he won't accept. And so I'm really excited to talk about that tomorrow. Because then instead of following a curriculum or these, you know, there is the role-playing thing, but instead you can just say, this is really happening in our class right now. Some people in class wrote that. I'm not saying, what if your friend won't accept it? This is like they wrote it. And this was right at the end of the day, so I'm not sure if they ended up getting to a resolution or not, but it'll be great to, you know, say, did your friend have a chance to listen? And maybe your friend needs some time. Is it okay to have? Do you have to resolve it right away? Can you be kind of mad about something for a little while? Well, yeah, okay. What are some ideas for them? And it always plays out really well because there's always all these ideas, and no matter how many times you think, well, you should just know that by now. They're also like, oh yeah, I should do that, or you know. So it is. I think what irks different ages and different genders is different, but I've seen, you know, 3rd graders, 1st graders, and both genders really visit this before, you know, because like dodgeball's unfair, or someone's calling me stupid. You know, they're different problems, but they all go in here. So it's really, they love paging through this and seeing what's happened.
And it's a public record. Yes, it's a public record. And as you can hear, I mean, if you listen to how we're talking about this, what a conflict is an opportunity to solve a problem, as opposed to something either to shy away from or something that's got to be somebody's fault that requires consequences. You know, it's a whole different ball game. We're talking about, okay, yeah, we got to this point. How did we get there? How can we not get there the next time? I mean, it's the whole idea of the nonviolent communication is it's looking towards future resolution. It's not there is an atonement part of it, but there's not the punishment aspect. The whole idea is, okay, we're all learning, we're all learners. We tried this out. It sure didn't work very well, did it? This one's crying, this one's angry, you know, whatever. So how could we do this better? How could we do this better? And as adults, we're not sitting here thinking, oh my God, that kid is doing it again. We're sitting here thinking, how can we figure this out? How can we help him see? How can we help him or her? How can the class help make this a clearer situation? So it really changes the dynamics of the relationship between the adults and the children. Because the adults are, it's not, no, he's doing this to me again. It's not. I mean, it really is, well, did you talk to him? Well, you better go talk to him first. That's the first thing. You go to the peace table and try to resolve it. I went to the meeting, he won't come. Well, people don't have a choice about going to the peace table. That's one of the rules. If you're invited to the peace table, you have to go. You may not be able to talk right now, and that's okay. You can go to the peace table and you can say, you know, I'm too angry to talk. But you have to go. You have to make that first foray. It's not okay to say no. That's one of the few things. I mean, that's one of the very few things that there's absolutely no leeway in. If you are invited to the peace table, you have to go.
Is the peace table also used for a place when a child is having a hard time that they're sent there?
No, you're not sent to the peace table.
I feel like I don't. Maybe it's in other Montessori schools, and that's maybe my child's language interpreting it that way. That maybe but that's where they went to reflect
Well, you can't, I mean, the peace table is
Like when
there.
they're having issues? but
No, the peace table is
the
there. If
teachers
they,
don't ever, the
no,
guys never?
You don't send them to
Suggest.
the peace table. The idea would be if somebody's really upset, you would say, well, you know, if you really are upset, you know, you can go to the peace table, and if you go to the peace table by yourself, everybody knows that you want to be left alone.
Maybe it was in that context.
Yeah, it's not.
Suggested. I don't.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it as a punitive.
No,
I
it's
just meant
not.
that
It's
it
not
is-
like timeout. It's nothing to do with timeout. But it would be if somebody is too upset to deal with something. It would the teacher say, well, you know, why don't you go to the peace table and sit down and think about that for a while? Or you know, there are also other. We have one of the teachers has like a little finger maze that you can. I mean, you know, sometimes you need to do things to calm down. I mean, in my classroom, we have a practice where we practice going to our hearts. You know, we talk about that we have bodies and we have feelings and we have thoughts and we have spirit, and you know, all those kind of need to be lined up in order for things to work the best they can. And again, we're talking 3 to 6, so this is on a very, very simple level. But we have a practice where we go to our hearts, and we just do it. We just do it every day when we come in after outside time. Just we sit down and we practice and go to our hearts, so we know how to do it. And so when they go to the peace table, if they're really upset, they'll sit down and they'll, you know, like pull themselves together. They'll just go to their heart and calm down, because they know that they can't think straight if their emotions are too big. So they have to, you know, get themselves where their thoughts are going to work again before they can solve the problem. And so just having that kind of a practice is really useful in that situation.
So do all the classrooms have some form of this? Is first grade through or not?
Yeah, and Kirk actually, he brought different things from different classrooms, so you can actually see the physical props. They're over in this corner, and
Yeah.
we're going to encourage you. In fact, do you want to just go over and kind of explain a little bit
Yeah,
about what
yeah,
each
sure.
one is?
Yep.
You know, and if you want to bring it here or whatever.
Yeah.
But just to see, because, yeah, every classroom uses nonviolent communication. Every classroom utilizes a variety of these techniques. Everybody's going to do it a little bit differently, because this is Kirk's piece.
So this is my, I mean, I just picked this up and walked it in here. My little bouquet is kind of shedding, but. So my piece table always just looks like that. And some books that we've read about, you know, it's like a choose your own adventure. These are Claire's books, but it's just more like this situation happens, what do you do? And there's, you know, 5 options, and the class votes on what the character should say or whatever, and like meditations, and there's parts in there and stuff like that, and then less direct, you know, like Claire has this finger labyrinth, and I'll just kind of hold that, and that's just in kind of a quiet area, and so it's not directly, oh, I can see you guys are fighting, go do the labyrinth, but it helps you kind of calm down, and just sort of center. Other things like my classroom has a Zen garden. I think Claire has one of these as well, with the tools, and then, you know, a little book of meditations. And so it's not equipping you with vocabulary, but it's just sort of helping with that. And Claire's been doing a big, I won't bring this whole board over, but she's doing, I don't remember if it's a virtue of the week or a virtue of the month, but more role playing, and they'll say, so this week they're talking about compassion, or this, I don't remember if it's month or week, but there's just lots of situations where you can talk about how you'd show compassion, and then each week, or each time they pick a new one, they add it to the tree, and then each of the virtues has a book. It's a combo biography and virtue. So, you know, this, you know, Ralph Bunch was really responsible. So there'll be a whole book about him and how he was responsible. This isn't a set of classroom rules, but in Alexis's class, they talked about what it means to be a leader, and then, you know, you can see each part of the classroom decorated a different part of the body, and they put that whole thing together. It doesn't look as strange, but it's not usually on the floor. From these cards are from Alexis's room.